Life is getting wild. Hello, everybody, and welcome to IGN Anime Club, episode 28. Yay, anime!
Yay, anime!
If you are listening to the audio version, please get your butt to the video version right now.
Oh yeah,
it's
really
so
important.
It not only helps us out for various reasons, but more importantly, it is great. I was going to say something really bad. We're going to have to bleep it out. Not going to bleep it. I did it. I prevented myself. I've been playing a lot of shooters lately. I curse a lot.
We all curse a lot. It's okay.
I'm trying to take it back a second. But yeah, welcome to our Halloween episode.
Yay!
If you are listening, to tease you a little bit, we're all dressed up as Umaru. Surprise.
Yes. Umaru.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just going to sleep all episode.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen Himoto Umaru-chan, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot on this show, and she's our spirit animal.
She is so our spirit animal.
She's the trash monster inside of us all.
And you can see that we've got all the snacks. We've got the chips, we've got the cook, we've got the candy, and we've all got our Vitas.
We all brought our Vitas.
All brought our Vitas.
We might have different models, all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Maybe? Do we have the same one?
I don't know.
I think we do. I had the
I had
original.
my Vita for a while. So.
Yeah, I think we both had the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just
R.I.P. Vita, because there was no Vita games at the Sony conference.
while we do this.
Oh my gosh.
Vita.
So should we introduce ourselves?
Oh yeah, hi. This is IGN's anime show. We just talk about anime and fun stuff. I'm your host, Miranda Sanchez, and joining me as always is Kelly Plaguey.
Hello.
And Megan Sullivan.
What's up?
She's so glamorous.
I'm so glamorous. I got my shades on. Now I'm like, cool, Umaru. I dance.
She did an awesome dance.
I did. I almost fell out of my chair. Woo!
Should definitely go watch that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just have that as a looped
Just
GIF
gif it.
Yeah, just give it.
Gif it.
Give it gaff.
Yeah.
All right.
Give
Yeah.
it gaff.
Give it gaff.
I like that. Yeah. So
Yeah, so Halloween.
Halloween.
Tell us what you guys are wearing for Halloween, because we love that, especially post pictures in our Facebook group, which you can join at facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club. And it's a lot of fun. People have already been posting their cosplay and cool things.
love seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it's awesome. So don't forget to share it. Some people were sharing their anime tattoos the other day, and it's like, those are sick.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are some
awesome.
sick things. I like those.
I like that stuff.
You may Sailor Moon tattoo.
Yeah. So
So-
we're all different versions of Umaru.
Yes.
I am homemade Umaru.
So Callie made her entire costume, and it's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I love that little hamster face. Like, that is so good.
Just story time. I cut out little pieces of felt to make the whiskers and stuff, and I like painstakingly sewed each of them on, and it was a whole thing, and I was so proud of myself. So
it looks
It
really
looks
good.
fantastic.
Thank
you should be proud of
you.
yourself.
I have like the original, and it's good, but I actually like yours better. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah, I just bought mine. It's comfy. Got on Amazon.
Yeah, these are so soft.
last night I wished I had bought mine.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like 1 a.m. and I was like sewing the last whisker on, and I was like, oh my god. I felt like a 50s housewife because I was drinking beer and sewing.
That's beautiful.
It was awesome.
You need to drink a highball or like a martini.
Yeah, I needed like a martini or wine or something, but I don't have those things because I like beer.
Beer
But
is good.
beer's
Beer
good.
is awesome.
But yeah, so Umaru, such a good show.
Oh, it's so good. And isn't there supposed to be an OVA that comes out this month or something?
Yeah, an
Or came
OVA
out?
should be out soon, or if it's not already out, we'll
I don't
find
know.
it.
I'll look it up.
Wind
I
down.
got the magic of the phone.
The magic of a computer in your pocket.
That's right.
Umaru, just to tie it into Halloween, does have a sort of spooky episode that when we first watched it back weeks and weeks ago,
So-
it was kind of spooky.
Isn't this like I think of this after credits kind of thing?
Yeah, it was a post-credits like little bonus scene.
Like it's like a 2-minute thing, which is actually surprising for how long it was.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
and I forget exactly which number episode it was, but it was this Ju-on reference. And if you're not familiar, Ju-on is the original The Grudge. You might have heard of The Grudge because that came west, but it's originally a Japanese horror film. And so Miranda was all spooked after
No,
that.
I was like, no, please stop.
It's so creepy, that movie. I watched that last Halloween by myself. So
Oh, you watched that by yourself?
yeah.
Wow.
I love horror, which is what we're going to talk about today. So just like I just want to talk about like just Japanese horror in general, because there's some that people might be familiar with in addition to Ju-on, which is Ringu or The Ring. You've probably seen The Ring, maybe.
Yeah, I saw it. Get the screen's away from me, please stop.
7 days. And I actually prefer, for both Ju-on and Ringu, I prefer the Japanese versions because there's something kind of, they rely more on the theater of the imagination than than just like in the American version. It's like, look at this creepy girl's face. In the Japanese version, it's like you have to think about the inevitability of death. Like it's just like way heavier. So yeah, I would recommend those for Halloween. But we've been watching some spooky shows.
Yeah.
Some actual animes, not live action.
Yes.
Did I just say animes?
I'm okay with that.
It's
It's
Japanese animes.
It's kind of fun sometimes. Like, yeah, I like animes.
Anime.
Oh,
the
anime.
anime.
all the animes.
IGN Anime Club. So yeah, well, Miranda, let's start with you because you've been playing Halo all day long.
Hi, everybody. All I know is Halo now. Is Halo an anime?
It's animated.
Yeah.
As Sean
So-
Finnegan pointed out.
So yeah, there's an animated thing that came out with Halo 5, which is called The Fall of Reach. So that's actually a novel. Then they animated it because it gives you more context to who Blue Team is, which is Master Chief's accompaniment this game. And it was bad. The animated part was bad.
Wait, was just the quality of the animation or just the story?
Yeah, it seems like they
or-
just did the very minimum budget to, hey guys, here's a little bit of money, make this thing happen.
Gross.
It would look cooler like as a comic with the style that they picked, but the people, like the animation parts of it were just really awkward and some of the writing was a little bad. But anyway, that's aside from Steins Gate, this is actually the only thing I've watched in the past like week and a half because I don't have time for anime.
Yeah.
But I beat Halo on Legendary solo.
Yeah,
so
Miranda's
that's
amazing.
a huge
I am the
accomplishment.
queen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a
found-
freaking goddess.
got all the skulls and the intel.
I just got my copy of Halo 5, so now I have somebody who can like walk me through
Yeah.
the process.
Yes, if you guys
check out all
need-
your wikis.
If you need help, ask me. I want to help you. Also, check out the wiki that I worked really, really hard on.
She worked so hard on it.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Please,
That's
please
why
go
she
look
didn't
at
watch any anime, but we do have a running
Yeah.
joke about a Master Chief dating sim. So if you have the
Yeah.
power to make that happen, please make it happen.
I was editing a photo of Chief and Locke, and it's when they're facing each other, and I was just like, kiss.
Now kiss.
Kiss.
So,
Ship it.
just, tying it back to our anime sensibility.
Yeah.
Megan, what have you been watching?
The worst.
So I watched a bunch of shows that people recommended for Halloween. So I thank you guys so much. The Facebook suggestions and the Twitter suggestions really helped. So I watched X-Holic, XXX-Holic. I'm not sure how to say it. It's Triple X-Holic.
It sounds super dirty. Is it
Yeah.
dirty?
It's not dirty. It's actually really spooky. I really like it. It's by Clamp. So if you're a big Clamp fan, I highly recommend it. Words. All right, recommend it. Recommend it. Yeah, and it's really beautiful. It's done in sort of the old ukiyo-e art style that was from the Edo period. It's really beautiful. It's about this witch named Yuko who runs a shop that grants wishes to customers in exchange for something of equal value to the wish. And so this boy, this high school student, Kimihiro, he can see spirits, and spirits follow him everywhere. They're really annoying, and they pull at him and pinch him, and they just are all around obnoxious.
Are
and
they yokai or just?
They're
general
kind of like
spirits?
yokai, but
Okay.
they're these weird, cloudy, smog-looking spirits that have weird eyes and stuff like that. Like it's nothing like, Ushio and Tora, where it's something actually physical. It's more like this weird cloud smoke monster that from Lost or something. I don't know. Anyway, so he wanders.
That's a spooky anime. If
That's
I've
a
ever heard.
spooky anime. Yeah. So he wanders into this shop, and this witch is like, this was inevitable. This meeting was inevitable. You can't get away from me. But I can make the spirits go away in exchange for you working for me. So he does, and he
works.
gets sort of
fine.
caught up in people come into the shop, they're drawn to the shop, and they have different wishes and different requests. But the woman Yuko, who's gorgeous, she looks just like Sakurako.
Sakurako.
I can't speak today.
A witchy Sakurako.
Yes,
Witchy Sakurako is my aesthetic.
Yes. So that's the thing, beautiful women who are young and beautiful and regal. They have this thing called hime cut, which is the bangs and the forelocks and long hair, and it always is ascribed to beautiful, sophisticated women, and that's what Yuko is. And she's just, she's the best. She dresses in this half kimono, half Edwardian Victorian style of dress. It's really, really cool. The aesthetic of the show is amazing.
Rad.
I think, I saw the first episode a long time ago. It's a little bit older show.
Yeah.
I think it was in high school or something.
Yeah,
And it was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's goofy. It's off the wall, and it's spooky, but it's not scary. And I like that. I like anything that is suspense or spooky, but not jump scares. I hate jump scares, so I highly recommend Triple X-Holic, whatever you prefer to call it. And also to keep it contemporary, I'm still watching The Perfect Insider and Beautiful Bones, which are both Very spooky.
I think Perfect Insider definitely is taking the cake on like one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
In the season,
I'm a
more so
little-
than Beautiful Bones.
Yeah, I'm a little behind, but I really like both of those
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, I love them both so much. They have these awesome, intelligent, beautiful women who are like sort of the center of the show, and I like that.
I like earlier you started your sentence with that's the thing, beautiful women, and I just wanted to end you that like just stop there. Just that's the thing,
That's
beautiful
the
women.
thing, beautiful women. Who does not love beautiful women? I'm just saying.
I love them.
I love them so much. Yeah, so I don't want to give anything away in case everyone else is behind, but the third episode of The Perfect Insider took this crazy turn, and I was like, oh, now it's going to get
Heck
good.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It was good.
Yeah,
I think that's like the one show I actually watched, but I think I'm still behind.
That's okay.
Just, lost in video game land. I'm reviewing something right now, so I am lost in video game land as well.
Yeah, but there are other shows that you guys can watch. Shiki, Boogie Pop Phantom.
You were watching those as well?
I was watching those as well. They were so I only got through like the first couple episodes. I didn't have a lot of time this
Right.
week either, but
Yeah.
all of these shows all have like a bit of mystery to them. Like Boogie Pop Phantom is an older show, I think, and it's sort of the same thing where it's like high school students disappear. What happens to them? Whoa. And like the first episode is just very melancholy, and it hit me in the feels because it's all about this high school girl who has this major like obsessive crush on this guy who kind of disappears. And she's trying to like find out where he is, but she can't. But she sees phantoms that look like him and ends up being this like yokai or monster that tries to eat her. And she's so depressed she can never see this guy again, or she's afraid that she won't. That she's like, fine, just eat me. But then Boogie Pop saves her and then disappears into the night. But I was
Yay,
like, oh my
Boogie Pop.
God, I hate unrequited love. It's the worst.
So is Boogie Pop like a ghost superhero man?
So Boogie
he
Pop is a
dog?
woman that dresses like
Okay.
a man, and it's like this sort of phantom character, like it's this urban legend that you tell in like high school. Or it's just like, if you behave badly or you have certain thoughts, like Boogie Pop will come and take you away before you can become ugly and bad.
Oh,
I don't know.
why don't we have that now?
I don't know, but I hope I have that right. I've only seen
Boogie Pop,
one
take me
episode.
away.
Yeah, Boogie Pop, just take me away.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was flirty. Just speaking of urban legends, I started another last night, which is, if you're not familiar, another is about a kid who moves to like a small country town from Tokyo, and I believe like his family's from there, like his mom's from there or something. It wasn't super clear because it's supposed to be kind of like mysterious, like as little as he does about this town. And everybody there acts kind of weird. Like he's starting school. He transfers to a new school, but he has a collapsed lung, so he's in the hospital for a while. And like the class representatives visit him in the hospital, and they're like super serious and weird. And they're like, "Oh, can we call you by your first name?" And he's like, "Sure." And they're like, "Okay." And like one girl like shakes his hand and like looks at him, and then she has this like dark look on her face. I'm like, "What's happening?" And then there's like scenes of it's like a frame of creepy dolls just interspersed throughout the episode.
Oh, no.
There's a whole doll motif.
Oh, you know what people should check out? Your creepy doll motif from Happy Home Designer. The video we made.
Just speaking of creepy dolls for 1 second, Megan and I did a Let's Play a while back of creepy dollhouse and Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Yeah, we made a pretty creepy house.
It's pretty creepy.
It
There's,
was it was pretty creepy. Something about creepy dolls.
There's some Blair Witch Project stuff going on in that house.
There is.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
We got a whole. It's very Halloween-y.
Yeah.
You know what? We should promote that Let's Play today. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, we actually should.
So check that out. It's on the site. You can look it up. It's I think the title's like the creepiest dollhouse in Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which is a long title, but you can find it anyway. So he goes to school, and he has to like stay in the hospital for a while. He's in the hospital. He's taking the elevator, and he gets in the elevator. It looks empty, and then suddenly there's this girl. This just really weird girl with an eye patch over her left eye, and she just appears, and he's kind of like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there." Like he's not. I was like ghost, but like he was like it was like, "Oh, I just didn't see the quiet girl." I was like, okay, he's being much more reasonable than I would be. And she's holding this doll in her hand, and she's going down to basement level 2. And he's like, "You're going to basement level 2? Why are you going down there? What's there? What?" And she's like, "I have something to deliver to a friend." And she just kind of like drifts out of the elevator. And you see this sign that's like basement level 2, boiler room, morgue. And then she like disappears into the darkness. And he's just so intrigued by her because she's this weird girl going to the morgue in the middle of the night. So he sees her at school, and she's sitting, in the typical protagonist chair next to the window in the back of the classroom. And her desk is super, tattered and old looking and different from everybody else's desks. And he sees her, but she kind of, drifts in and out of the picture. Sometimes she's not in class. And everybody is looking at him like, don't do it, dude. Don't ask. What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
No.
And then they reveal. So here's the urban legend part. They reveal this urban legend of. So he's in junior high, third year junior high, so 9th grade, class 3, and they reveal a story about class 3 that 26 years ago, a very popular student died suddenly, but then someone was like, no. She's still alive. She's right here in the classroom. And then everybody played along. And then they had a chair for her at their graduation. But then they took a graduation photo, and she was in the photo.
What?
So spooky! So what I like about the show is the pacing's really good. I was hooked at the first episode because it was kind of introducing all these mysteries. Right. Basically the one main mystery, but then kind of smaller mysteries. Because people aren't telling this kid things. They don't want him to know.
And they probably don't want to talk about it. I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
What if we just forget that this ever happened?
Right. And and the other part is that his mom was in class 3 in the same junior high school, and she died giving birth to him. So whoa. So but then there's episode 3 comes along, and that episode, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that episode I was like, oh, so that's what this show's about, and it was like. I was all about this. I was all about this show. So I'm really excited. I would recommend trying it out if you're interested.
Yeah, that seems really good. I don't like horror things, but that's really intriguing.
It's another one that's not about jump scares. It's about suspense and mystery and kind of unraveling a really creepy mystery about a girl who may or may not exist.
Yeah. Which sounds pretty cool.
It's so cool. I liked it a lot. I stayed up late watching it because I couldn't stop watching it.
Oh my gosh.
The scariest time to watch scary things.
Yeah. Okay, I'm stupid. So last night I was watching this, and I was like, what's a good idea? Trying to read that famous internet Korean comic. Do you know about the Korean comic? All you have to do is Google that one Korean screamer comic, and you will find it. It's the first result. And it's this creepy comic about a woman who killed herself when she lost custody of her child, and she's walking in the street all her limbs are all broken because she jumped out a window or something. It's so creepy. It's a screamer, and I tried to do it last night, and I freaked myself out.
Oh, see, no, I'm not looking that up because I'm a big scaredy cat.
Don't do it.
The only time I ever watched a scary movie alone once, I was Serpent in the Rainbow, and I was in my parents' basement watching that movie, and that was a mistake, and I will never do that again because scary movies are scary. But I do like mystery and suspense.
I do like mystery and suspense. If you're looking for something a little bit scarier, also in the urban legend kind of vein, I also watched Yamishibai Japanese ghost stories. They're shorts.
Yeah.
They're really creepy. They're super creepy. Each one's about 4 or 5 minutes. Watched a couple last night, and one of the ones I watched was about this college student who's kind of infatuated with this woman who lives across the street from him, and he could just see her on the balcony through his window. So he's just kind of staring at her, and he's just become taken with her.
Creep.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And he's just watching her, and she goes inside, and then he sees this kind of weird creature, a demon-like creature, get into the window. And he's like, oh my God, is she okay? Oh my God. And then he sees her reappear in the window, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess she's okay. That was weird. And then he shuts the blinds because he's freaking out. And then you start hearing noises in the walls. And it was super creepy, and that's what reminded me of the horror. It was very much like the Korean horror comic. So if you're looking for something, it's also urban legendy, but it's not as suspenseful. It's literally just you want to see something screwed up? Here's 4 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while it's not an anime, I was reading these stories on scary stories to tell in the dark, stories about the books. So, if you guys ever had them when you were kids.
I read all of those.
Loved
those.
Scary. And they're also based off of urban legends. And so some of them I was just thinking about would be perfect as anime, and they'd be horrifying.
Yeah.
Because they are more focused on gore than they are death.
Right.
They're not violent, but they are gory.
Yeah.
And so it's just when you just saying that is the equivalent of those scary stories, but maybe even even worse. Cause
Yeah, I remember reading scary stories to tell in the dark when I was in like 5th grade. And I read one in particular that like scared me for like weeks. I could not go anywhere by myself.
the one I always just remember is Bloody Fingers.
Bloody Fingers!
Bloody
Screw
Fingers,
that
guys.
one. Yeah, it's so I think just since we're talking about urban legend stuff, anime or not anime, urban legend stuff freaks me out because there's a token of realism to it. It's like, oh yeah, there was a girl who was going to a basketball game and then she was followed home. And
Oh,
it's like,
that was the one I was thinking about. It's so
that's
creepy.
the one I was thinking about too.
Yeah.
I actually wrote I had a creative writing class and I had to write like a spin-off of that story, so I've read it a bunch of times.
Yeah, so
it's so creepy.
To finish it up, a girl's driving home from a basketball game, and this guy behind her keeps like flashing his high beams. She keeps looking back. She's like, "What the heck is going on?"
Yeah.
But he keeps flashing it because there's someone else with her in the car, and every time he gets up to like attack her, the guy flashes his high beam so that way
he spooks the killer.
Yeah, spooks the killer, and the girl will look from behind her.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
And it's that one doesn't see. That's the cool thing about that one is it doesn't end in death. It's just like the thought of what could have been is what makes it so scary.
Right. It's just like a creepy, like realizing your mortality. Like these things could happen, kind of. I mean,
you could.
Not
I
unlikely,
I don't know about you guys. I always check the backseat of my car when I get in my car.
No, you're supposed to. As a woman, you're supposed to. Even if you've locked it, you're supposed to do that.
Like,
any person check.
Well,
the
any
backseat.
person. I said woman, but women always have to be a little more hypervigilant. So
we're encouraged to be anyway.
Yeah, we're encouraged to be. I don't know.
The society we live in.
Yes,
Anyway.
it is. But anyways, but I remember that story, and I remember it actually creeped me out.
Tell us about your favorite urban legends.
Yeah, I do.
Especially
I
if
want to
they're
hear
anime.
If you have some cool urban legend stories, send them my way. I don't want to speak for Megan or Miranda because I don't want.
Don't send them my way.
Don't
send them
Please
my way.
don't.
Send them to me.
I already have nightmares from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Moving on, I think to maybe a less awful topic. We got some fun, scary
Yes,
stuff.
we have fun, scary stuff.
There are people like me out there. It's like I enjoy Halloween. I liked being scared, like not too much, but I do enjoy the kind of fun, scary things. Especially just like Halloween episodes are so fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And like mild horror is fun, especially like gore is all right too. So we kind of try to figure out some more fun, scary things that aren't necessarily gory. They're just like fun, kind of spooky tales.
Yeah, like if you just want something that's not gonna make you afraid to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, this is the place for you.
Yes. I love the first one on our list is Milpom.
Yeah, Megan, do you want to introduce Milpom?
How do I introduce Milpom? Well, it's basically like what's the show called? The most popular girl.
Most popular girls in school.
The most popular girls in school, and it's
a stop motion Barbie doll show about cheerleaders.
Yes.
And it's very foul.
It is very
It's on YouTube.
foul, and Milpom isn't foul, but it's the same. Instead of Barbie dolls, they're like Japanese Bratz dolls.
Yeah.
And when you first open up this episode, these Bratz dolls are in a high school with these weird, creepy, like teddy bear heads.
I love them so much.
It's
which
awesome.
is so weird.
Like Milpom's described as like this is an alternate world where it's acceptable in fashion for people to wear fake animal heads.
Yeah.
And so like they're like just kind of like
To
stuffed
be
animal
fair,
heads.
though, when I lived in
weird.
Japan, people were basically dressed up like we are now, with like animal hoodies on and dressed like animals, and that. So it's not that far out for some fringe Japanese fashion to do that. But yeah, these girls have these giant, enormous like mascot heads on.
Yeah.
And they're talking like
Super
a bunch
creepy.
of dumb valley girls.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out like what they're doing for Halloween, what parties they're going to, and it's just, and then they take all the heads and they have these like big, huge, sparkly, soulless eyes.
So it's like
So creepy.
It's not too creepy. It's more something that I was like, this is so cool. It reminded me of like Guro Lolita, like that kind of style of cute, creepy.
Yeah. Like it's not deliberately being like creepy, but there is something about like those.
It's just weird.
It's
It's
super
very weird.
And it's a Halloween themed episode, so
yeah, they're just trying to figure out like who's going to what party and what they're going to be, and then you've got the catty girl who makes, what was her snide comment?
there was they were
Milpom?
deciding on costumes, and Milpom is like, oh yeah, I think I want to be like a cute nurse, like zombie nurse or something like that. And the other girl was like, oh, maybe you should be Frankenstein. I have a T-shirt that you can borrow. It'll be really cheap or whatever. And the girl's like, well, why don't you just be Frankenstein? She's like, oh, it's not cute enough for me, but it'd be good for you.
It was like the snarkiest thing.
Yo, I've definitely had friends who said things like that to me, so I was like, this is so
Oh,
real.
that passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, like, it's not my style, but it's good for you.
I'm glad one of us cares about our appearance.
Like, at least one of us is watching our figures. So just going on the vein of like sort of funny things, I wanted to give a shout out to Ghost Stories. If you haven't heard of Ghost Stories, it's this supernatural anime that is actually just supposed to be horror. The actual like original version, but the English dub just adds all this comedy, and it's amazing. You can find, like, if you just look up Ghost Stories, there's like these clip videos on YouTube where you can just see all these like dumb clips. There's like one character who like the little brother character only speaks in whines, like he's only like and that's like all he says. Even though in the original he has actual words that he says, the dub is just like him going and everyone's like, what's wrong with you?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So that one is just like, it's almost like black comedy. It's really good. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. And then we have the general test of courage trope that sometimes pops up in anime. So we were talking about different shows, like School Live has that one test of courage trope where they have to go get supplies, but they have to explain to Yuki like what they're doing, so they make it a test of courage episode where it's just like, all right, you're gonna run through here and you can't look at this. And
School Live is definitely like one of those kind of fun but creepy anime.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Like, there were points when, because I am a baby, I got scared. But like, it's very tense sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely tense.
Yeah, School Live could totally go on this watch list. I mean, it should be on your watch list anyway. We've talked about this before.
Should be.
But yeah, the test of courage trope isn't particularly common or anything. But like one that sticks out to me is like Nisekoi has an episode like this where there's just like teachers dressed up in kind of like creepy costumes, and there's an element of creepiness to it, even though it's just a fun, mostly lighthearted episode. There is the element of like, oh my god, someone's gonna get jump scared in the forest. So test of courage stuff can be fun.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
It's cute.
where like he wants to be with Onodera.
By the way, speaking of
Onodera's girl.
going back to School Live real fast, somebody recommended like High School of the Dead or something. That's porn and zombies. So if you like your
So if you want
hentai ecchi
some
porn,
fun,
you want some fun.
Oh.
You want some fun zombies.
we got
with lots of pen shots.
we got that. We have a segment on this schedule. I called it Girls and Blood.
There you go.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something a little bit more, like casual fun stuff, there's a few good shows maybe to check out.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be
So
scary.
Kelly, you were saying Girls and Blood?
Girls and Blood. So I came up with a couple, and they're of different calibers. So High School of the Dead, obviously, would be one of those, like, ecchi and murder.
Yeah.
I also put Elfin Light on the list.
That show's so weird.
Yeah, just because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't even
Like, we all just have to stop and say,
what.
Well, I don't know what it is, so somebody explain what it is.
I watched this like 2 years ago. I don't think I can actually give a good synopsis of it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I
even
can
really,
either. I just put it on the
It's
list
just one of those
'cause
really bizarre anime that it is very violent.
Yeah.
And there are girls.
And there's girls.
But really, it's a really bizarre kind of like more psychological sort of, like theoretical sort of thing.
Right.
It's
like,
weird.
Yeah.
Let me
Psychological
find
horror
like a
is
better.
interesting. Yeah, maybe we could find a better synopsis of Elfin Life. But yeah, so that's like the next step up of just like, this is horror and there's also girls. And then the one that I actually haven't seen because I'm terrified is hard to pronounce. It's Minemo Shune. That's I read the katakana and I tried to figure out the pronunciation. But the Wikipedia article about this anime describes it as having, quote, grotesque and erotic visuals. So that's probably like the third tier of Girls in Blood, is just weird, like no.
Possibly not safe for work.
Just definitely not safe for work. Would not
I
recommend
don't think
watching
any
that at
of them that we have recommended so far are safe for work. Like Elfin Light definitely is not.
Oh yeah, no, it's not safe for work either.
So going back to the synopsis, the Diclonius, a mutated Homo sapien that is said to be selected by God and will eventually become the destruction of mankind, possesses 2 horns of their heads, 6 hands, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, people studying these Diclonius, and one of them gets out, and she tries to survive, and some teenagers, of course, find her and try to take care of her. and she's dangerous.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out what they do with her, and there's people after her. So
Sorry, I have to.
that is our brief.
I have to open my cola because I am
Coda.
coughing, so I'm going to be a complete trash monster, and this is going to completely ruin my glucose levels. But that's okay. I got to do
Yeah.
it.
All good.
So those are Girls in Blood.
That's the Girls in Blood tier.
Of course, for the one that you had a hard time pronouncing, if you guys don't understand what we're saying for some of these names, we have all of them in our full article. People always ask, especially on YouTube, they're like, why don't you guys post this? It's like, sometimes I do, but it just doesn't make it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So absolutely check out our article on IGN. You can just like Google search like IGN Anime Club episode 28 and you should find it.
It's Greek.
So yeah, we always
Yeah.
have that. And those are our Girls in Blood. Let us know which are your favorite Girls and Blood and for Halloween. I don't know, it's like a weird thing. It's like, I don't know, like they're cool, but like just like these violent...
The imagery can
Haunting
get
kind of
disturbing,
thing.
so I would proceed with caution for those. But I do
Yeah.
want to know, like, if you have seen Minnemosine or whatever. Well, again, like Miranda said, we will have that in the article. It's if you have seen that, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. You can send us those on the IGN Anime Club Facebook group, which is
Facebook.com/group/IGN Anime Club.
yay, it's the official
Yay.
group. So yeah. What is next? Mwahahaha. I feel like I should have a flashlight and start telling ghost
And
stories.
then just the
my
lights
gosh.
go out.
Yeah.
Which they're actually supposed to tomorrow.
Oh
and stuff.
yeah, that'd be so funny if that happened today. We're
yeah.
having a PG&E issue.
Yeah, or the entire block is going to have the electricity turned off tomorrow at 1
Just
p.m.
leaving at 1 p.m. Just bye.
Like, whatever. Like,
That also happened earlier this week, which is one of the reasons we couldn't record. So
Yeah.
one
If
of
you're
them.
wondering why the episode's late, it's because of PG&E. Shakes face.
Thanks.
Um,
And illness.
And illness.
Halo.
and Annis and Halo.
and
Anyway,
all the things. What about psychological horror?
Yeah, those are probably like my favorite. That
Yeah.
I can usually handle more than jump scares because jump scares are like the cheapest kind of horror. I always
yeah.
think it's like, well, you can do them, but like psychological horror just takes so much more like thought into it, and to like really craft a really messed up story.
Yeah, I think the best psychological horror is the thing you think about the next day when you realize what everything implies or like what everything means, and you're like, oh my god, they came so close to dying, or whatever it is. Psychological horror is so cool. I love it. Yeah,
So-
I love psychological horror.
Absolutely, just to start off and kind of recap, is another. Like that is
Yeah.
a good one. So if you missed that, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. One I actually kind of want to put out there is one that I'm very fond of. I love. I think I have her little statue up here, a character from. Anyway, Higurashi no Koro ni, or When They Cry, which you can also find in by both titles, is a very messed up psychological horror that is very gory. So if you watch that, proceed with caution. It is very grotesque. It is also a little old. So
It stars Moai characters too, which is
yes,
freaky.
So it's about this kid, this high school boy, who moves to a very rural town out in Japan. Like there are only a handful of people in this town. Like it's super small, and it focuses around this weird festival they have every year, and they're basically celebrating like this weird god of death. I forget exactly what his name is and stuff, but there's like these murders that happen, and it's kind of like a murder mystery at one point. And I don't want to get too into it because there's a lot of really cool things it does. It sets up a lot of different arcs, and then there's a second season that kind of revisits a lot of it too. So if you're really into weird mystery / horror gore stuff, absolutely check it out. I did not know what I was watching at
Where
first.
can you find it
was
though? I
amazing.
couldn't find it anywhere.
I think you can find some DVDs around. Otherwise, you might need to get crafty.
Yeah, because I was like, can't find it on Funimation. Can't
That
find
is
it on
literally the
Crunchyroll.
only thing I can say.
Yeah,
Crafty,
okay,
like
okay,
how I
crafty.
made my own Umaru hood.
I think somebody, Sentai Filmworks, I think it was them, they picked up Higurashi recently, so it could be coming out on DVD again soon. But
Okay.
as of right now, it's kind of hard to get legally.
Because I tried, because I
like
was
sometimes
recommended
that's just the
it.
thing that happens, and like there's shows we love, and it's just really hard to get.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I've wanted to watch Koabone, but I couldn't find it. That's one of the
Right.
shorts from this season. I couldn't find it legally. If you have, if I haven't tried in like a week, so if you have, if it is legal now, please let me know because I do want to watch that.
Yeah,
Legal anime.
legal anime.
sometimes it's hard. Like people always argue, like I can't find this legally, so what am I supposed to do? You know, it's like, well, you don't have to talk about where you're getting it, but you can acknowledge that this is a thing we want, and we're waiting for it to come.
Right.
But when you have the opportunity, watch it legally.
Yes.
Another psychological horror, which is not really scary, but really really messed up. School Days.
School Days.
Have you guys seen it?
Nope.
I saw it when I was high school, and that was a really weird experience for a young Miranda. It's kind of about this like weird love triangle and people trying to figure out like their sexuality and like coming of age, but in a very, very violent, disturbing way.
Whoa.
Yeah. School Days.
Are you all right?
Yeah, you kind of zoned out there for a second.
And a lot of people don't like it. I can understand why, because it is kind of like raunchy. It's very dirty. Don't watch it at work.
Okay.
Duly noted.
And I think a lot of people just get hung up on it because of the end and how it is really weird. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we haven't brought up?
What?
Death Note.
Death Note is
I don't know if it's scary per se,
so
but
much
it's
psychological, but it's supernatural.
It's super. Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's an element of psychological, not
Right.
horror, but something to Death Note, just because you're thinking about the. I think the scary thing about Death Note is, I didn't watch the anime. I read the manga, but when I was reading it, I was like, what would I do? What is my nature? How would this mess me up? And then I started to think about like human nature and stuff. That's the scary part of Death Note.
It's not like super twist and turns that way, but I bring it up because it's like there is something psychologically very creepy about.
And about having the power of death in your
you
hands.
having the power of death in
Yeah.
your hands and having this creepy
and not just
thing.
death, but judgment.
Yeah. Sort of makes you think.
Yeah. So when I talk about psychological horror, it's not just like super creepy things like the just what we've talked about so far, but also just things that make you go, oh my God, life. And Death Note was one of those for me, and also I love Death Note.
And Death Note's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any more psychological horror you want to throw out there?
I have a couple. I just want to talk about creators for a second. Specific creators. I think the first one that I always like to bring up is Junji Ito, who was supposed to collaborate on Silent Hills. We have articles about that on IGN.com right now. It is very interesting because, so the thing about Junji Ito is Junji Ito does a lot with body horror, which is it's a subset of psychological horror, I think. And my favorite is The Enigma of Amigara Faults, which is This Hole Was Made for Me, if you've seen that on the internet. That's what that's from. It's about people who are kind of drawn to this fault line where I think it's like an earthquake or something has happened, a shift in the tectonic plates, science, and something has been raised up and it has all these human-shaped holes in it. Ooh. And everybody's drawn to it because they're trying to find the hole that they fit in. And so it's super creepy because they're like they can't stop themselves. They're like, this hole was made for me. I need to see what comes from going inside. And that it's super body horror.
That's creepy.
If you have a problem with body horror, I would not recommend reading it.
Here's your grave, here's your coffin, see if you fit.
Maybe.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's
also you don't know what it is, right?
You don't know what it is, but it's just there's something ominous about that.
Yeah, I mean, like what the body horror comes from. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is body horror. I think the other aspect of psychological horror is going so boldly into the unknown like that, just having no control over it. Like, also, where do they come from? Why are the holes perfectly shaped for you? Oh my God. So that's always my favorite to bring up.
So creative too. It's just like, hey guys, there's an earthquake and now there's all these holes, but they're made for bodies.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's really disturbing.
Awesome.
Junji Ito also, has tons of other things that you can read.
We have a discussion with who else was working on Silent Hills? I forget.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, I was like, I forgot his name just now.
Yeah, we have an article right now on IGN about kind of what that
would happen. And he also talked a lot about Ito too.
Yeah.
In their interview, so it was absolutely cool to check out.
Yeah.
How he kind of looks at Japanese manga, and especially horror manga.
Yeah, how manga inspired Silent Hill, the series. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested in Junji Ito. The other creator I wanted to bring up is Satoshi Kon because we haven't talked about it yet, but Paranoia Agent. I haven't even seen that show. I watched the PV for it and I was creeped out. It's about it's another urban legend kind of sort of supernatural show about a kid who is called Shonen Bato, so Bat Boy, but I think the official localization is Lil Slugger, and he's like this. It's like a he's a demon basically torturing townspeople. Not torturing them, but the torture of the mind, where it's like, is he gonna come attack me? But if you watch the trailer on YouTube, it's super creepy. Like, if you don't want to watch the whole show, just watch that in the dark with your friend. See what happens. Satoshi Kon also has Perfect Blue, which I believe is a movie.
I saw it years ago.
Yeah, and that's a psychological.
Yeah, it's very
horror.
Psychological. I can't remember everything that happens in it. I just remember watching and be like, well, that was a little creepy.
I like the way you said creepy. Oh my god.
It's super creepy.
That was sort of creepy, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, so those are just two I wanted to highlight. If, like, Junji Ito especially, like, if you could just look up Junji Ito and find something to read and it would creep you out. And then Satoshi Kon, those would be the two I would point to first. As far as horror goes, obviously a movie is much more accessible for Halloween, which is in, as of this airing, a day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, horror is so cool. Oh,
horrors of horrors.
before I forget, I wanted to give a shout out to Monster. I have not seen Monster. It's on my list. It's just really long. It's like 70 episodes or something. But I know people love Monster. They're always like, you want something scary? Watch Monster. So just a shout out if you have seen Monster. Let me know if you would recommend it to me.
Yeah.
And should I watch it?
I won't. I'm not gonna do it.
I'm curious. You know what people recommend it to me over and over again was Shiki, but I only got to watch the first episode, and until the very end, it doesn't feel like anything really happens. There's this weird, creepy castle in the middle of this country town in Japan, and something pretty and creepy lives there. So, yep.
Pretty and creepy.
Pretty and creepy.
It's my aesthetic again.
There it is again with the beautiful, mysterious, creepy women.
I just like cute things and oolong tea highballs. That's all.
I like cute things too, and then I'm so weird because I'm like, I'm a bubblegum cupcake princess, and then I'm also like, and I'm a witch. Like,
so basically, we are Kyori Pamu.
Yeah,
she is perfect
Kyori
because she
is-
matches like that kind of dark gothic kind of look with adorable, cute, great things.
That's exactly
She's
what I
perfect.
want out of my.
That's my life too.
I want to be Yuko from XXX Holic when I grow up. She's beautiful and weird, but the truth is, I'm really just a trash monster like Umaru. So
Yeah,
Bring
cheers
it
to
all back.
reality.
Megway. So yeah, just to finish up, like, obviously we haven't even. There's so many more shows that we could have talked about. So if there's any that are your favorites, you can, again, talk to us on the Facebook group, or you can tweet at us at hashtag IGN Anime. If you just use that, we will search and we will find your tweets.
Yeah, and you can also email us at IGN_Anime Club at IGN.com.
That's right. And by the way, if you are looking for a late Halloween costume and you can't get your hands on an Umaru hood, we now have the IGN Anime Club t-shirt in black.
Ooh. So you can match the night.
So you can match the night. Well played, Miranda.
Yes. I don't know if it'll get there in time for Halloween, but
you know what? You can
quiet,
be
Miranda. They can like super UPS like fast ship it.
Halloween lives on in your heart. Halloween is not a day. Halloween is an attitude. So you know what?
It's a lifestyle.
I'm gonna be Umaru every day.
Halloween is something that's inside of you.
It's something deep inside your heart. So where can they go to get their awesome Halloween t-shirts?
Or just black like my heart
Just
t-shirts.
black like your heart.
You can go to go.ign.com/store.
Yeah.
And we have many other cool things on there too for our other lovely podcasts with people that we love.
Yes.
Just to bring it back to cuteness.
Yeah, just to bring
I
it
love
back to cuteness.
everyone in my heart is black and my soul is dark. But
I really like cute things.
I know, that's my problem. I got my Golbat Pikachu right here. It's just too cute. Yeah.
Yes,
Scary.
yeah, let's do spooky stuff.
Spooky.
Hopefully we can revisit this like every year and find new shows. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We want to do Halloween episodes. We'll dress up as something next year. Who knows what it'll be? I don't know either.
I don't know. I'm never coming out of this Umaru
Maybe-
hood. Like
yeah,
it's
maybe
so
it'll be
soft and
scary.
comfortable, you guys. You don't even know. It's like felt and it's
It's like super
Like-
warm. Like, if I
Yeah.
just have the wig,
Yeah.
I think I'd be a lot.
Mine's
the
uncomfortable,
wig is
but
killing me,
It's
but
itchy.
Mine
It's
is
super
made
itchy.
of fleece, and it's really hot.
Look at my Rapunzel hair. Look
I-
how ridiculously long
yeah.
this is. Like if you're listening, like my wig is like down to my ankles. Like it is the hair is so long, it's all tangled up now. Man, I look like an extra trashy Umaru. Like, I just woke up in an actual trap.
I woke up like
trashy-
this.
I woke up like this.
Aw.
But
Well,
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yay,
let's anime.
Anime!
Let's jump to the watch party.
Yeah.
What's
We
a
have
watch
some-
party, Miranda?
So every week we watch something together with you guys. We watch 2 episodes of a show if there are that many episodes available. That is voted on by our community. So we've been watching Steins Gate. Today is the last day for Steins Gate. Remember when we were done with Cowboy Bebop? Like, what happened?
Feels
So fast.
I
was
can't
so
believe.
fast.
So this is the 25th episode. It's an OVA episode,
Right.
Which means we've done 12 weeks. This is our 13th week of Steins Gate.
I can't believe it's been. I can't.
24 divided by 2 is 12. 2 episodes a week. There we go. Plus this week, so
Plus
13.
this week's episode.
Math. That's why we write. We are writers.
Yeah, what is math? No?
What are numbers?
Numbers.
Yeah.
How do you write them? No.
So I liked this episode a lot.
It was
I needed it.
This is a good example of fun fan service, where it was just very cute. It wrapped up all of the different stories with Okabe and his friends.
You mean fan service and not the sexual way, just what
like
the fans want,
what the
right?
fans
Yeah.
want.
Right. Like this was the ultimate fan service. Hey,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, everything you want to happen.
So I'd actually
happening.
kind of like to wrap this episode up with a comment from Neil Del Toro. He kind of summarized this specific
Shout out
OVA.
because
He's
Del
been-
Toro
he's-
always comments.
He's kept up
Love
with
you.
us,
Yeah.
and does like great analysis. Like you guys are awesome. All of you who have contributed like to
There's
Steins
a,
Gate.
there's a lot of names that
Awesome.
I recognize now.
Yeah, I'm like,
from
oh, this
this
is-
Facebook group. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's Hannah. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, so thank you so much for writing in all this time, and we encourage you guys, of course, to write in your own comments, even if it's just
I
something
get my
small.
glasses on so I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So he says,
I didn't do a very good job
Oh,
putting on
no.
my glasses.
this episode gave us Okabe's version of Kurisu's speech about love across timelines, and like him, it was concise, honest, and heartwarming / melting, depending on whether or not you're Kelly Piggy.
Do I say things are melting?
Maybe.
You do. You melt our hearts.
I melt faces.
Whoa!
Rock and roll. Okay.
Continuing.
Way to snatch an insult out of the jaws of a compliment.
Anyway,
I told
Del Toro goes
Anyway,
on to say,
I love you.
whether you use relatively or some
razor?
Occam's razor. I don't know what that is.
Occam's
but-
razor.
Occam's.
Go Megan.
Anyway, to describe what those two have, the only apparent truth is that DK Pepper brings people together. So DK Pepper is the
Red string of fate.
Red string of fate.
Unmei no Akaito.
Yeah.
There's like kanji and everything in
I was
this.
just
I'm
like,
like,
oh,
what's
don't
happening?
bring kanji into this.
Why
I hate
kanji?
kanji.
Akaito.
I'm so
Kanji is
bad.
the true horror of
It
the
is.
world.
No, I kind of.
Yeah, I like the parallels in this episode. Like the just like him giving her the lowdown on, she's talking about her dreams, right? Her recurring dreams from the past world lines, and he's kind of giving her the same talk that she gave him a couple episodes back when she realized that she was going to die if they moved world lines. Yeah. I loved that. It was so
the most
complete.
beautiful speech.
I also liked how funny and lighthearted they kept it. Like it started off really heavy. It's like, why is he in a desert? What's happening this time? And then they're like, oh, they're just going to America for a tournament,
I like
and it's
that
awesome.
He kept getting arrested at the airport.
That was hilarious. Like, I don't know if did you guys watch the sub or the dub? Because I bet
The
it was
dub.
very
I
different.
watched the sub.
Oh, you watched the sub?
Yeah.
Was he speaking in English when he was
Yeah.
declaring? Okay,
Oh,
that
that's
makes
He's like,
sense.
I am mad scientist, and I was like, yes, this is back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really funny actually when you're watching a sub and someone who's supposed to be American is speaking English, because it took me a second to realize that he was supposed to be like a native English speaker.
Right.
Because it's hard to tell sometimes, because sometimes it's just like Okabe being dorky. But I love that because it was the same kind of speech he gave the badge guy, like way forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens in the dub?
Basically, he's just declaring things like, we shall smite our enemies in the USA, and there's a police car right there. And of course, terrorism is on everyone's mind, so they like come out of the car, look
And
at
just
him, and
arrest him immediately.
arrest him
So
immediately.
he says the same things. It's just in the dub that scene he's speaking in Japanese. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense then.
Yeah, I know. But with the passport agent person, he's like speaking English. So it's
you can tell because he starts with his mad scientist.
I am mad scientist. I am so cool. That I loved the lighthearted aspect, especially because the show is so heavy. At times, you really think about the enormity of the universe, and then it's like, haha, he's a dork. Remember, he's a dork. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
It's also good to see that he got back to that too. Like he wasn't permanently scarred by his adventure through time.
I know.
Like he's still had to be.
Yeah.
I was so
Kyoma
happy
Kyoma.
to see him back to who he was. The Okabe that they all love, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the one Mayuri loves. It's the one.
It's the one I know. That's
Kurisu
actually
falls
him.
for,
Like
it's
he's not
him.
the dark, brooding person that you see unless you're in Steins Gate Zero.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
And I do love that he and Kurisu immediately start their verbal sparring match all over again. And I just I love that so much. It's what makes them so dynamic.
know.
Is they're always arguing, but they care about each other, and she can't get the words out. It's like, I have this memory. And he's like, yes, can I help you remember it? And she can't get it out that she
Yeah.
remembers their kiss.
She remembers their kiss, and I love that she that was the one that was bugging her the most because it felt the most real because that was
Yeah.
her intent, right? With the kiss was like, I'm gonna remember the heck out of this.
Yeah, and Okabe was like, my hippocampus missed that. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
My heart.
It's so good.
I also love. So I'm such a dork because I'm like, I hope this happens to me one day. When he's like telling her, like he's like, you know, I told you once, I'll tell you now. Like, Makise Kurisu, I love you. And I'm like,
Yeah, actual squealing sounds for a few minutes.
yeah,
I just fell out of my chair and died a little bit. I was just like,
So, just to clarify, like this is not the end of Steins Gate. There is a film.
Right.
We didn't get to it because we're kind of skipping films for now.
Right.
But it's available out there if you guys want to watch it. And also, of course, like we've said before, that they are doing Steins Gate Zero, which is the next series. What happens if they don't save Kurisu and they just continue on? So
it's gonna be depressing. I don't
yeah,
like
I don't know if
Yeah.
I want to see that because
Well, see, I mean,
Kurisu.
like she's a character in it still. Like there's something about her. Like maybe it's them trying to figure out how to save her again later on or something. But
Oh, maybe.
we'll see.
I'm at this point right now where I'm just like, I want to think about relationships and happy things.
It's
and
like, nope. What if we destroy all of that?
crushes and yay. I love that I love this about Steins Gate is like the consistencies across world lines. Like just a character just being themselves every time. So when he's like, how do you feel about me? Like she's like, do you really want to know? Close your eyes. And I'm like, this again! Yes!
Yay. It's the one constant, their love.
Yeah, and that was like really sweet how he was mentioning that his one constant across all of these world lines was Kurisu helping him and always being there for him.
Oh my
Kelly's
God, Kelly's
breaking
falling
down.
apart.
I love you. I love relationships.
Well, we have a new relationship to form now because
do.
we're done with Steins Gate. So it's time to announce the winner, which you guys can see if you were keeping track of the poll.
Oh,
So,
you were talking about something else. I was like, what is it?
oh, no.
Anyway, so the poll. So moving on.
Anyway, yeah, so the winner of our poll was, if you kept track of it, like I said, was Gurren Lagann. So, yay, Gainax. I'm excited because there's also like Trigger/Gainax people.
Yeah.
People who eventually went on, a lot of those people went on to make Kill la Kill, which is my favorite show. So I'm just like,
Love Kill la
yes.
Kill.
I've seen about half of Gurren Lagann and I stopped for school stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I'm excited to finish it up. And it was
Yoko Littner.
very, very popular. I think the second most popular was Psycho Pass, and then following that was FLCL. So
I'm still
Maybe next time.
disappointed that none of you
Shirobako, guys.
voted for Shirobako.
come on. Come
I'll
on.
just talk about it in the What We're Watching segment every week. Just like, yeah, I rewatched Shirobako again.
Yeah,
Here's
I
what
watched
I
this
think.
episode
It's passive
for the 12th
aggressive,
time.
like if only
like,
you had voted.
Yeah, so I watched the first 2 episodes again. Here's them in detail.
Here's why Miyamori is actually me and the best character ever created.
Freaking love Miyamori. She's on my pen. Anyway, but I am excited for Gurren Lagann. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to diminish what people voted
Right,
for because
right.
I am excited for that. I'm just teasing.
People
about
were always saying
Shirobako.
like, why don't you guys just like make like rig it, just do Shirobako anyways? Like because we want this
no.
to be something you guys are excited about too. We want to
Yeah.
watch along with you guys.
I want everybody to
Yeah.
want to watch, to want to participate in the watch party because I really do love seeing. I mean, we talked about this at the beginning of the segment. Just I love seeing everybody write in. I love seeing those familiar names, familiar profile pictures.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love getting detailed emails about what people think about a particular episode.
yes.
We get the best emails.
That's another thing. We do read your emails even if we can't respond. My inbox is so full.
Yeah, there's sometimes actual work emails that I don't respond to and I forget and I feel really bad. And then also, of course, like fan emails are super important to me too.
Yeah.
And we read them. We absolutely read
Yeah.
them. If you don't get a reply, we're sorry. We love you. And we'll get back if we can.
Yeah, just thank you all so much for participating. Just
Yes.
even if you haven't been participating in this watch party, just participating in the community, commenting, just
being
sharing with us.
Yeah. Just tweets, Facebook page, email, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so Gurren Lagann isn't as like deep as Steins;Gate. I mean, it's a lot more fun. It's like a different kind of fun for sure. So I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about it because it'll be a fun ride. So we'll be watching the first 2 episodes of that next week.
Yep.
Until then, you can keep in touch with us on Twitter. I am at Havoc Gross.
I am Megan, MEGHAN_IGN.
I am Inky Dojiko, INKYDOJIKKO.
And with that, we have our Halloween episode. Yay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know what you're doing for Halloween.
All right.
Have a fun, safe Halloween. Watch some scary things.
Eat some candy.
Eat candy.
Eat candy. Eat all the candies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.